on radio, on YouTube, and on your smartphone. This is TTUTA Speaks. We invite all listeners to tune into I-95.5 every Thursday morning at approximately 7:25 for TTUTA Speaks, a program which highlights local, regional, and international issues affecting the education sector. Good morning to all listeners and welcome to TTUTA Speaks. I am your presenter, Barry Joel Desai. This morning we are privileged to have on the segment Ms. Marsha Huggins, the second VP of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association. Welcome to TTUTA Speaks, Ms. Huggins.
Good morning, Mr. Desai, and good morning to your listeners. Thank you very much for having me on the program this morning.
Before we begin, can you briefly remind us what is the role of TTUTA's second VP?
Under the portfolio of the second vice president, that will have anything to do with terms and conditions of employment, industrial relations, the negotiation process and the collective bargaining process, and issues of occupational health and safety. So anything that falls within those four areas that I identified falls under the portfolio of the second vice president.
There are several issues that are frequently raised by teachers, including the untimely payment of increments and other allowances, poor working conditions at some schools, and other industrial relations matters. What is your department doing to address these more frequent concerns?
With regard to the payment of increments and other allowances, the Industrial Relations Department continues to advocate on behalf of the membership of TTUTA. We do this in two ways: through statutory meetings with the relevant bodies, whether it is the Ministry of Education, the Chief Personnel Officer, or the Office of the Personnel Department, the Teaching Service Commission, and others. We continue to make representation there on behalf of our members, and we also have a construct called Individual Matters, where the IR Department of TTUTA engages with the IR Department of the Ministry to inquire, to track matters of individual teachers who would have brought their issues to our attention, to see how best we can help to resolve those issues. The process is not as quick as we would like, but we continue to advocate on behalf of the membership. With regard to the deteriorating plants, our schools, we are also raising this issue. We do that at those monthly meetings, those statutory meetings that we have with the Ministry of Education. We continue to raise those. And of course, when issues do arise, we also make the representation there, where we engage with the permanent secretaries of the ministry to try to have those issues resolved. So we are working towards ensuring that our members, our teachers, are in a safe environment.
Teachers were frustrated with the tardiness in beginning the collective bargaining process for their last settlement. What was the reason for this lengthy delay?
There are different factors that contribute to when negotiations or when the collective bargaining process can start, chief of which is the instructions that must come from the Ministry of Finance or the Minister of Finance to the Chief Personnel Officer to actually engage in that process. If that doesn't happen, it can't start. We also have to bear in mind that we use the External Labor Market Survey as a main instrument in determining where salaries in the teaching service would fall. So that is also another time-consuming process. So there are different things that will contribute to the delay of that process. It's not just one thing.
How soon do we expect negotiations to begin for the next collective bargaining period?
Once the Chief Personnel Officer has gotten his instructions to commence negotiations with us, we'll be ready. We do have a draft already available, but we would like to get some feedback, some contributions from our membership. So we'll be seeking to do that in the new academic year, reaching out to our members to let us know what you'd like to see as part of that proposal that we will be presenting to the Chief Personnel Officer at the beginning of the process. Once that is done and once the Chief Personnel Officer is ready, we'll be ready to go.
Is there anything that TTUTA can do to address the tardiness of the Minister of Finance in giving the CPO permission to commence negotiation?
We do know that that is a very real possibility. We know that's a real possibility. The legal route is always there and available to us, and we can explore the options that we have there to try to get the process started. But we always look to start in good faith. We always try to negotiate in good faith. So we will start there, and if the need arises, the legal route is always a route that we can look to take.
Many teachers have been asking about how soon they should expect their new salaries and payment of arrears. Is there anything you could tell us about this?
Our hope is that the new salaries would begin in the new fiscal year, which is not too far away from now, and the arrears would be paid a few months after that. So that's the information that we have thus far.
Before we leave, is there anything additional you would like to share?
Thanks again for having me on today's program, and I wish you and the listeners a productive and blessed day ahead.
You have been listening to TTUTA Speaks. To contact us, please dial 610-3850. That's 610-3850. Or you may email our president at president@tuta.org. That's president@TTUTA.org. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where recordings of interviews, events, and other materials are uploaded regularly. Like us by giving a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.